The Zetherian called themselves gods, not in metaphor, not as a cultural affectation, but as a declaration. They had burned empires into ash, dismantled species into subservient thralls, and shattered worlds into rubble with nothing more than the idle flicker of their fleets. Entire civilizations kneeled to them with trembling prayers. When they descended upon human colonies, they expected nothing different. The colony of Halcyon was humanity's pride. Lush valleys, oceans the color of sapphires, cities grown from glass and steel that stretched to the horizon. It was a place of laughter, of families building futures beyond Earth's cradle. When the Zetherian fleet arrived, the colonists thought it was a diplomatic envoy. After all, who would launch a war against a species that had not even lifted weapons in their direction? But gods do not negotiate with mortals. They demonstrate their divinity. The first beam fell without warning, slicing through Halcyon's capital like a razor across flesh. Towers folded in seconds. Screaming voices evaporated under light hotter than the heart of a star. Oceans boiled where orbital fire reigned. Children hid in shelters only to be buried alive when the Earth itself cracked. 1 billion lives ended in a day, not through necessity or strategy, but as entertainment. The Zetherian broadcast their triumph to the galaxy, their voices dripping with casual cruelty. Observe the lesson of Halcyon. Mortals rise, mortals hope, mortals dream, but in the end, gods decide their fate, and humanity has been reminded of their place. Laughter of the gods in the aftermath, the Zetherian feasted. Their council chambers echoed with laughter as images of burning human cities looped endlessly in their displays. To them, Halcyon was a demonstration, a warning to other species tempted to ally with humanity. They mocked Earth as a planet of farmers, dreamers, and artists, beings too sentimental to survive the crucible of the cosmos. They wagered on how long before humanity begged for subjugation. Some said a decade. Others said less. None considered resistance. Humanity was young, fragile, naive, unable to comprehend the scale of Zetherian power. To them, Earth's only chance of survival was obedience, and so the gods celebrated, secure in their supremacy, blind to the storm they had unleashed. The quiet. Before the response for weeks, humanity said nothing. No demands, no negotiations, no desperate pleas, only silence. The galaxy interpreted this as fear, resignation, or perhaps grief too deep for words. The Zetherian interpreted it as submission, but in the silence, something vast moved. Beneath the oceans of Earth, in the shipyards buried beneath lunar rock, within the hollowed-out asteroids of the belt, war machines stirred. Not the polished fleets humanity had shown to the galaxy. Those were for exploration, diplomacy, defense. What now emerged were vessels built for extinction-level war, relics of doctrines Earth swore would never be used. Black hulls drank in starlight. Cannons the size of skyscrapers were loaded with payloads capable of cracking moons. Engines roared with fury harnessed from captured singularities. Across encrypted channels, human voices whispered simple words that made admirals of allied species tremble. Mobilize. The silence broke not with pleas, but with a message carried across every frequency. Clear and cold as a blade. This is Earth. You struck our children. You call yourselves gods. You will learn the meaning of mortality. The shattering of certainty. When the first human dreadnought entered Zetherian space, the gods still laughed. The vessel was scarred, jagged, unadorned. No gleaming insignia, no gold-plated arrogance. It looked less like a ship and more like a wound torn from reality itself. The Zetherian dispatched a fleet to swat it aside, certain it would burn like paper in fire. The dreadnought did not fight with elegance. It fought like a cornered beast, unleashing volleys that tore cruisers into ribbons. Its weapons cut through shields designed to resist suns, piercing hulls as if they were nothing more than clay. In less than an hour, the Zetherian fleet was gone, reduced to drifting wreckage. Survivors staggered back to their council, disbelief shaking their voices. It was only one ship, they stammered. One ship, and we could not touch it. They did not yet understand. Humanity was not sending ships to win battles. Humanity was sending ships to erase certainty. The answer of Earth. The retaliation unfolded like scripture written in fire. Human fleets arrived not as waves, but as storms, appearing in every Zetherian system simultaneously, as though the void itself bent to human fury. Battle groups cloaked in black eclipsed suns, their sheer mass turning night into endless shadow. When they fired, entire worlds shook. On Dathra Prime, the Zetherian sacred palace crumbled under orbital bombardment. On Kelthos, worshippers who once sang hymns to their gods screamed as human shock troops descended. their armor black as obsidian, their eyes burning with unyielding resolve. Every message from Earth carried the same refrain, repeated across the stars. You are not gods, you are executioners, and executioners bleed like any mortal. The galaxy watched in silence as the myth unraveled. Where once the Zitherian inspired worship, they now inspired pity. Where once they were eternal, they now were prey. When defiance became a weapon, the Zitherian had enslaved countless civilizations, broken species that resisted, reduced entire cultures to rubble. They had never faced an enemy that defied annihilation itself. Humanity was not fighting for conquest, nor for wealth, nor for glory. Humanity fought with grief so vast it hardened into vengeance, a grief so absolute that nothing could stop it. Defiance became their weapon. Every destroyed colony only sharpened their resolve. Every civilian lost only added names to the ledger humanity intended to balance. Where the Zitherian expected surrender, they found relentless escalation. Where they expected despair, they found unity. Billions of humans across 1,000 worlds whispered the same vow. Never again. The Zitherian tried diplomacy then, broadcasting apologies, offering reparations, pretending humility. But humanity did not want apologies. Humanity wanted the universe to remember. The breaking of gods. The final blow came at Zitherian Prime, the jewel of their empire, the seat of their so-called divinity. Their fleets gathered in desperation, millions of ships blotting out the stars, confident that sheer numbers would halt the tide. When humanity arrived, they did not bring ships. They brought an armada so vast it looked like the night sky itself had turned against the Zitherian. Their formation stretched from horizon to horizon, each vessel a dagger pointed at the heart of godhood. The Zitherian fired first. The void lit up with 1 billion lances of light. Human ships burned, but the armada advanced, unstoppable, unbroken. Then Earth answered. Planet crackers descended like falling stars, each strike peeling continents apart. Orbital lances speared through the crust, igniting oceans, splitting tectonic plates. Human marines landed in waves, their boots shaking the ground like thunder. The gods of the galaxy screamed as their temples collapsed, as their thrones were buried under ash, as their names were erased from the heavens. Their immortality proved fragile, their divinity hollow. And when the dust cleared, there were no gods left, only mortals who had overreached. Whispers in the aftermath. The galaxy is quiet now. Zitherian ruins drift like tombstones across the void, monuments to arrogance shattered by defiance. Survivors whisper in shadows, never daring to speak too loudly, lest humanity hear them again. The lesson is etched into every star map, into every treaty, into every hushed story parents tell their children. Do not provoke Earth. Do not wound their people, for their patience is vast, but their vengeance is infinite. Humanity did not claim the title of gods. They did not demand worship. They did not seek empire. They only left a warning, carved in fire and silence. Defiance alone had been enough to shatter the divine. And so the galaxy remembers the truth that Zitherian arrogance revealed. Our defiance taught gods the limits of their power.